This is Deborah Atkinson, and you're listening to Flipping 50, where I address your top questions and struggles, and I share what to eat and how to move and how to think to get the energy and the vitality you want in this second and better half. And my guest today is definitely about to make her second half the better half. So the title of this podcast, I hope, is what got you here, starting over better than ever over 50. This will give you some inspiration. My guest is Lisa Hoffman. She's a divorced 47-year-old Washington, D.C. native, former real estate title insurance accountant turned model, actress, and writer. Some of her projects include Devil's Deal and Drifters, both independent short films she co-wrote and produced, released in 2017. Television, print, and video promotional appearances. She's been acting in several indie films, all shot in the DC area, as well as a few television miniseries that will be released sometime in 2020. Spokesperson for big names like Fitbit. Hello, you all know that one. As well as working on her book called Fly, Birdie, Fly. Release date to be determined. So, Lisa, thanks so much for being here. Girl, you are on a fresh start. You are on fire.
Thank you so much, Deborah. This is a memorable day for me, monumental. I feel like I'm in a dream, and I'm so honored to be your guest on your podcast. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I'm so excited to share you. So here's the deal. So literally, this may go two ways, but Lisa and I may have been stalking each other since it was February when we first met. I was kind of on a whirlwind of media appearances, one of which was in DC, and they specifically wanted me to bring people on to do demonstrations of exercises. So I was like, okay, where are my people in DC?
Yeah.
And my good fortune was that you responded to a simple Craigslist call.
Yes.
And I remember getting that, and I'm talking to friends. I was like, who does that? Who responds? How do I know this isn't some crazy lady?
Yeah, I know.
And then you were the nicest person. I was like, how much did I hit the jackpot
here? So sweet. Thank you.
So I want to tell you this because I've been watching you ever since and watching your social media blow up. And I remember very little about that day specifically because we were kind of in the green room waiting for, our turn to go. And then I was filling you in on here's what I'd like you to do and where to turn. And what I do remember is that you were in the middle of some life changes at the time. And it seemed as if it was, a little bit of just I don't know what's happening exactly, and just a little bit of turmoil. So if that's correct, or correct me, please, but tell us more about kind of what was going on. And then it would be hard for viewers who are going to be able to get to the links to connect with you on social media. If they look at your site right now, they'd have a hard time believing it because it looks like everything is just all peachy and you are like suddenly behind and in front of the camera recently, like it's all going on.
Yes. So when we met back in March for DC, Great Day, Washington, I was under a lot of stress. There were multiple things happening. I was working a very demanding 9-to-5 job. I was involved in a very challenging relationship, actually engagement. We were engaged to be married. And so eventually what ended up happening was my business actually shut its doors down, which was very scary because that was my bread and butter. And so there I was left with no job, and I was in a relationship, like I said, that was just extremely controlling and, just very challenging and toxic. And so, when we met, I was under all that pressure, but I knew that, I had to be on the show and I was going to fulfill my duty and do the best that I could. But So basically, I'm in a transitional stage right now as we speak. So I ended up leaving the 3-year engagement just this past June. I made the decision that it just wasn't a good relationship for me. It was very controlling and hindering me on the things that I wanted to accomplish. You know, I wanted to venture out into the entertainment industry and just see what opportunities were coming my way. And I didn't really get the support that, I wanted as much as I had supported him. So I think it was the best decision of my life. I wish him the best. I hope he's well. And so from there on, I just started auditioning for things. I started, applying for modeling gigs, and um, I made a decision. I have two sons, adult sons. One is 26, Sean, and my 19-year-old his name is Tyler. And I also have a grandbaby on the way any day now. Yeah. So, a lot of things happening. And I kind of talked with the boys, and I wanted their blessing because I had lived at the time we met in Fredericksburg, Virginia, which was an hour south of Washington, D.C. And, as a mom, we're nurturers. And I sat down with them one night at dinner and I said, "Hey guys, I'm thinking," this was after my business went under. Well, it wasn't my business, the business I worked for. Went under. I said, "Listen, I can do two things. I can either get another job quickly and stay in the area or move back up north where I grew up." And it was such a relief to hear them tell me, "Mom, you did a lot for us and you sacrificed a lot for us. And now it's your turn. And wherever you want to go for it. Do it." And, it was like a blessing. And I kind of cried, and it just made me feel so good because all they want is for me to be happy because they saw all the struggles that I had gone through. So right now, currently, I am in the DC area, and my whole home is actually in storage, believe it or not. And I'm staying with family members currently until I decide where I want to live. And that all will depend on, what opportunities are coming my way. And, I've thought of other areas. I've heard Atlanta's like the Hollywood in the South right now. I heard it's really booming for models and actresses and just all kinds of opportunities. So I don't really know yet where I want to reside. So in the meantime, I'm enjoying all the opportunities that are coming my way.
That is crazy.
It's just
Yeah, so
unbelievable.
exciting.
Yes, it's unbelievable.
Okay, so let's talk about this. So, I mean, 47, right? And
Yes.
although I think absolutely, of course you should be, to be a spokesperson for Fitbit, that's kind of a big deal.
How amazing is that? Yeah. Yeah. And I actually just got a call. It's funny we're talking, but I just got a call from Hollywood, which is where they're based out of, and they said that I'm doing a phenomenal job at the Tyson's Corner location. Like, I sold out of all the Versa 2s, which is the latest, hottest Fitbit watch that's out right now. So they actually asked me to now, I will not only be at the Macy's and Tyson's Corner, but I will also be appearing at the Dulles Town Center Macy's. So I've got a heck of a week coming up, but I am just thrilled because they gave me such great feedback, and they said, we don't know what you're doing, but you are just selling the watches like hotcakes, and they love you, and you're just a great representative for Fitbit. So I couldn't be more happier.
That is so good. Okay. So with all of this goodness going
Yeah.
on, and yet you kind of had to break away
Right.
and make room for it, essentially, to make
Yes.
room for what it was you really wanted when you had something that maybe felt safe and secure, and that you had a relationship or you had
Right.
a job. You didn't necessarily leave the job, but maybe something or someone was pulling strings, making you make changes that you wouldn't have otherwise made for yourself, which I love
Right.
when that happens.
Yes.
What for you, in making the big change with the relationship, because you did choose that, what was the biggest challenge? When you were in that, your feet are still in the door with the relationship, thinking, what was the hardest part?
The hardest part for me was just having your companion, your daily person that is with you, your sidekick, and sharing your days. And, you know, I miss it. I miss it a little bit, but I don't miss the other parts of the relationship. So the hardest part for me was letting it go. Because actually, we really, when things were great, we were great. I mean, we made films, we sang, we played guitar. I mean, we did so many things. And so it was sad because I did feel like I lost my best friend at the same time, but yet I knew that it just wasn't going to work. And so it was hard. It was a hard decision. I had to just break free. But I think, mentally and physically, it was just the best decision I ever made. I truly believe that.
Okay, so in that, and you may have snuck it in there, but seriously, what was the biggest gift? Was there something that you didn't even see coming that you got from taking that risk?
I don't know. I just felt like it was that time. I felt like this little birdie in a cage with no song. And once that door opened, I flew as high as I could. And I have no regrets at all. And I, I think I'm falling in love with myself. I think what happened in my life with me personally was that I put everybody ahead of myself. You know, and now I'm at the age of 47 where I'm actually starting to actually fall in love with myself, and I'm loving myself and I'm enjoying myself. And, so what? I'm not in a relationship. I mean, I have so many things going on right now. I wouldn't even be able to have a relationship right now. And I don't even have the desire to have one. I was with this person 3 years, and it just recently ended. So I'm focusing right now on myself, bettering myself, and just living the dream. I mean, I've always thought of this ever since I was an adolescent. And like I said, I knew one day this day would come. And, I didn't expect it to be in my late 40s, but but here I am.
So let's speak to that just a little bit. I think there are a lot of aging actresses. I kind of catch myself saying that, but I think what other way is there to describe it?
Right.
And they're changing, right? The expectation that older women can't work. And so speak to that just a little bit, because often I think it used to be maybe 20 years ago, somebody would say, well, you know, are you kidding? It's too late for you to get into that now. But I mean, how much do you hear or are you seeing around you of like older women being picked for roles? And although we have to let everybody know that I will put a picture in with the show notes, you don't look like you're an older
Oh,
woman for sure. But I mean, are you seeing that? Because I love this representation that here you are and you're getting picked for all of these different roles. It's amazing.
right. Yeah, thank you so much for the compliment. Yeah, 20 years ago, you are right. People would say to you, "Oh, come on, give me a break." In fact, I have had friends tell me bluntly, and family members that have said, "Are you going through a midlife crisis? What's going on?" Give me a break. You're 47. But it has changed. The industry has changed, and they are now looking for more realistic people. And from what I've been told, I have a certain look that can fit many roles. I can look, Latino. I can look Caucasian. I can look Mediterranean. So I'm in a really great market right now. I've been getting a lot of roles for like doctors, attorneys, business women, you name it. I mean, you've seen my social media. I've kind of been all over the place doing different kind of characters, and it's all been just so fun and magical. But yeah, it has changed. The industry has changed, and they are looking now for real people. And just because you're in your 40s doesn't mean it's over for you. I mean, because all roles, I mean, not everybody has to be in their 20s. I mean, doctors, you're not going to see a 20-year-old doctor. I mean, they're going to need 40-year-old doctors, 50-year-old doctors. So there's a place for everybody right now. And it's just, it's wonderful. It really is. And
Okay. So, what would
yeah,
you say to somebody who's listening who just still has that, I've always wanted to do XYZ, and maybe it's not acting or modeling, maybe it's something else. And
right.
and they're looking and saying, oh, but it's so easy for you because, or it's so hard or impossible for me because. I mean, what would you say to that woman?
I would say to all women that are listening to me to love yourself, believe in yourself. Do not let fear hold you back. Do not let anyone tell you negative things. If they do, they are not true. Okay. You are an amazing person. And whatever you want to do, you can do it. It's never too late. And never, ever stop believing in yourself, no matter what someone tells you. See the vision, believe the vision, become the vision. Your thoughts become reality. Jump, do it, go for it. Use your last arrow.
I so love that. And so, listeners, I didn't even know this was going to be a mindset show. However, I mean, it completely is. It comes back to, and I'll link to a couple prior episodes that I've done with mindful and mindset experts like Dr. Ellen Langer, who was all about early studies of placebo and the way that your thoughts literally change the physical structure of your cells. And if you believe hard enough and you recite and rehearse those thoughts enough, frequently enough, and attach emotion to them, your body does not know the difference between what you're thinking and feeling that strongly and what is reality. And so it will begin to create the reality that you're thinking and emoting.
It truly does. And I'm living proof. I'm living proof. I also would like to say inspiration is huge, and we all have to have a reason, something to chase, or we have nothing. So give yourself a reason. And tomorrow is always a new day. to be reborn again, and it's never too late. Surround yourself with like-minded people that are uplifting, encouraging, and supportive. If you're in an environment that is not like that, get out, make a change, get out of your comfort zone and go for it.
Love it. Great words of advice. Thanks so much. So, Lisa, I'm going to ask you this. And before I do, I want to make sure that listeners, you know this. So, you're going to be able to connect with Lisa via links in the show notes to her Instagram and her Facebook account, because I wanted you to be able to watch over her shoulder now that you know where she's been and how it's not been decades long that this has been happening for her, but exciting things are happening for her right now. So I'll connect to those. But so we've taken a snapshot. We looked back. We looked at what's true now. What do you see when you look at, say, 3 years or 5 years from now? What do you think or hope?
Wow. Well, I have a lot of projects coming up in 2020, which I'm so excited about. Of course, I can't, I wish I could tell you, but you will
have to
see
kill
them.
us. Okay.
Yeah, you will see them when they come out. I love photography. I love producing. I love writing. I'm actually writing. I'm working on my book right now. I've actually been journaling for the last, I would say, 4 years. And, I've been going through them. And so it's funny, though, my title of the book has changed probably 4 times now. and it may change again. But right now, the name of my book is Fly, Birdie, Fly. And it is basically about a little birdie in her cage without a song. And until one day that door opens, and when it does, she goes and flies as high as she can and doesn't stop. So I see big things for myself. Like I said, I have visions of myself, and I'm going to make it happen. You just watch.
So good. I love it. And you heard it here first.
Yes.
Thanks so much, Lisa, for being here. And listeners, do you have a question you would have asked Lisa if you were sitting across the table from her? Leave it below the show link at flipping50.com/starting over. There's a dash between those words, and I'd love to hear from you. So if this episode was helpful, please leave a rating in iTunes and then share it with a friend. Surround yourself with a supportive community of women on the same journey. To get the most out of this week's episode, again, check out today's show notes and connect with Lisa, not to mention see her picture at flipping50.com/starting-over, where you'll get those juicy downloads, places to go. This episode is brought to us by CBD for Life products. They're the CBD oil products that I've begun using, and having Lisa on this episode talking about starting a modeling career, an acting career into her 50s and what that looks like makes me think about wearing makeup. And I'll tell you a little secret. In my life, I never really loved wearing a lot of makeup or wearing foundation. I almost resisted it to the point where I wouldn't wear it because the only thing I was thinking about after I did put it on was wanting to wash my face and take it off. I don't really want to cover up my face. I want better skin. And one of the ways to get it is through the antioxidant rich omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids that are in the CBD for Life products. So I'll use, and this is one of my faves, is a little bit of the eye cream, the CBD for Life eye product, to dab on my under eyes where they're a little puffy in the morning sometimes, to reduce the inflammation and also give me all that richness to nourish my skin and look better, not just cover it up. Because let's face it, when I work out, I don't wear makeup. I just want my skin to look good. You should try it. It's CBD for life. I'll put the link to it and the special code so that you can get a discount inside the show notes. And you'll learn a little bit more about CBD for life. That is the CBD oil that I've been using recently. I've been asked so many times, is it safe? Can we really use it? So the answer to that is yes, but it depends, right? On the quality of the product. It always depends on the quality of the product. But CBD is so good for reducing inflammation. And how many times have you heard us talk about that here at Flipping 50 and about the need to reduce it? So whether you've got inflammation that's causing you headaches, aches, pains, making movement difficult, or you've got foot issues, you've got inflammation on your face, breakouts that come right along with those wrinkles. Isn't that wrong? I'm using CBD for life products, and I'll share the link right here in the show notes, and you can get 20% off by using Flipping 50 at the link. So what are you waiting for? Let's start Flipping 50 together.